Hey, everybody. Welcome in and welcome back to Money Shots. I hope everyone had a fantastic 4th of July holiday. Hopefully everyone celebrated accordingly. Besides Kelly, which I saw something on your Twitter saying that you weren't going to drink booze or something. Let's hopefully and took a little.
No, I said I was going to start till July 5th. That was on purpose because 4th of July is my favorite holiday. So.
That it is. So tell us a little bit of what you did and how you enjoyed it, and then kick it down to Chris because I would love to hear about both of y'all's holiday. I myself didn't do very much. Went up to the beautiful Lake Charles L'Auberge Casino, watched an Astros series, won 2 out of 3 while we were there on the run line. So beautiful Barstool Sports book up there. So obviously, if you have the chance, get up there and go see it. But that's what I did. Now on to y'all.
Yeah, the L'Auberge Sportsbook is beautiful. I was there with Mincy about a month and a half ago when I was in Louisiana visiting you, catching crawfish with our girl, Sydney Wells, who's in Argentina, by the way. I'm like super jealous. Like that is like a bucket list trip for me. And I'm like, oh, she just gets to go there for work. That must be nice. So anyway, 4th of July, what did I do? It has been so crazy since the 4th of July. I finally got my dad moved into his new house. Apparently I'm the remodel queen. Right after this, I have to go get my nails fixed because I literally yesterday, the last picture I was hanging, Megan, went like this, whack, and just hit myself right on the thumb, broke my nail. It looks like a spider web. It was fun. But you know, the good part about hard gel nails is that it actually only kind of fucked up my actual nail. So I'm going to have a new name for these guys. These guys are like nail protection. Anyway. I had a great holiday, and I'm glad to be ready for football. I told everybody to leave me alone for the next week and a half, basically until I go back to Vegas. Like, just don't ask me to do anything. That's why I said I'm not drinking. That nobody's going to want to invite me to do anything. I've got a lot of work to do. So
all right, and
my schedule is literally cleared outside of Money Shots. You know what that means? It means me and Phil Steele, we're going to be spending a lot of quality time together. I've got a lot of work to do for college football. I started my NFL prep a couple of weeks ago, which was nice. And now I'm just kind of cruising, waiting for free agencies, OTAs, making sure nothing crazy happens. But college football, man, I usually start right around this time and I'm getting super antsy because everybody is dragging me in about 40 different directions.
Well, we definitely will be switching up here. I would say it's not for sure, but I'm thinking maybe August 1st we switch things up and start going over some previews of NFL and some college futures. So be prepared for that. So it will be coming. But Chris, how was your 4th of July before we move on any further?
4th of July was relatively uneventful on my end. You know what's weird? Like when I'm not doing like really cool Barstool content shit, my life is extremely boring. So like I'm just like I was waiting for 4th of July to be over so I could go back doing like the cool stuff that I do here, like Money Shots and LCB. I was in Chicago over this most recent weekend. Went to a few White Sox Tigers games, and I ran a lot. Like not on a treadmill either. It's the first time I've ran on concrete in a long time. My legs feel like fucking jelly right now. But beyond that, no, I mean, not a whole lot to complain about. Definitely happy to be back and talking about what is interesting. That's a positive twist on today's slate, I feel like, with what's going on. Yeah.
Chris is so much better than I am. I'm like, today's slate blows. That's what I text in the group chat. Like, just cancel the show. No more money-making Mondays. Like, do we really have to talk about these games?
Yes, we do. And before we do, I wanted to let you guys know where I've been putting the money that I have been winning because, you know, there have been a couple of days where I haven't had that great of days. But either way, I can go check my account on Skrill, and it's the best digital wallet for gamblers because it was built for gamblers. Sophisticated gamblers like us, we can use it to manage our bankroll, whether we are playing online games like poker or betting sports. So you can manage your bankroll using the wallet, which allows you to pay instantly and securely. It's payments without limits, basically. You can access your bankroll with instant deposits and withdrawals, and you can also draw cash from your prepaid card. Let's just say that Skrill is the best digital wallet for sports bettors, and it's a no-brainer. So go ahead and go create your account right now. So that's over at skrill.com/Barstool. Create your account and complete the account verification by clicking follow the game after registration so you can start using your digital wallet today. Okay, so before we move on any further too, it is Money Making Mondays. And as Kelly said, she texted the group chat and said the slate blows. And I texted back and said, I agree. I do not like this slate at all. This slate sucks. But I still have to try to make a parlay out of it, and I'm trying to find some winners. So today I decided to take TA7 to get a hit. It's Tim Anderson for the people that don't follow baseball. Also, Eric Osmer to get a hit, and then also Mets Braves. I moved the stool. It's on Barstool. It's at 7. And I moved it to 8.5. So right now, TA7 has 11 at bats with 4 hits against Quantrill, and he's betting 318 on the year. Osmer, he's got 9 at bats, 5 hits, batting 276, and then obviously you have 2 just bulldogs going at it in that Mets Braves game, which is why I like the under 8.5 there. So real quick, if y'all haven't, run over, take that parlay plus 155 today. So again, I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here, trying to find some winners for you guys. So let's get on with it. Chris, game 1 of the Tigers is about to start. What do you think of it real quick before we go too deep? I know you don't bet these Tigers games, but it's always nice to hear your feedback.
You know what's weird is like, okay, the Tigers have been, admittedly, I would say probably since Riley Green's call up, they've played better. Like they've gone from, the worst thing ever to just like baseline bad, which is, right. But after that, they got Pineda on the mound. Pineda's solid. But what's the one piece of data, and I was going to actually bring this into the discussion today, if you want to do a home run prop, was Whit Merrifield, because Whit Merrifield just dominates the Tigers, 333 average with a 903 OPS career against Detroit. And the one thing about him is that he's durable. Had the record for the active record for most consecutive games played, not playing game 1 today. So I would probably avoid that. Yeah, this first game, not really enough data to go on. Per usual, with the Tigers, the under is a pretty stable bet. I still think, even though they've played a little bit better lately, they're still at 60-something% of the unders on the season. So yeah, these are two poor teams. For some reason, the Tigers, who consistently over the last 2 years have had a better record than the Royals, they have trouble beating them. And I'm not really sure why. So yeah, not a lot to go on in that first game.
All right, so not a lot to go on. I did say I was scanning, the internet. There was a humongous bet put in on this Tigers game 1. So I'm not exactly sure what they're seeing, but it was large bet. So I'm wondering what's happening here. I might have went and thrown a little bit of money on the Tigers just to have some day action, because who doesn't like a little day action baseball? But I am definitely not putting it out, but I'm going to root for Chris's home team. So on to a game that I did take, Red Sox, Rays. Red Sox are coming off of a big fucking win from yesterday. Yeah. Huge win. They were down, 4-0 at one point, 3-0 at one point. Came back, 11-6. I'm trying to think of the score, but I didn't have that game yesterday, so I wasn't really worried about it. However, you have the Red Sox coming to play the Rays today. And look, I understand that it's Bello, I believe. I don't think I can screw that up too bad. He was one of the top prospects. This Red Sox team really expected something out of this kid. He had a really bad first showing, and who was it against? It was against the Rays. Mm-hmm. So I am going back to backing this kid who is supposed to be really, really good, and seeing if he can't pull something out for me here today. And I have it. I got it. Not a great number, -117. It's down to 109. If people, are interested in that bet, you can get it a little bit better value today, or now, not today, but at this time. But yeah, I like the Red Sox. I'm backing Bello. I think he's going to go ahead to get right spot, and I think that the Red Sox bats are ready to take in from what they were doing last night into today. But what are your thoughts on this, Chris? And then send it up to Kelly, because I'd like to get her thoughts on that as well.
I have nothing on it, but the Rays are not playing well at all. So, if I did have something, I would lean towards the Red Sox. The Rays just got swept on the road by Cincinnati. And yesterday, and this is the one issue the Rays run into. They always make it work, but a lot of their starting pitchers outside of McClanahan do not go very deep into games. Yesterday, they lost a game 10-5 in which they used several pitchers. You're probably not going to get a whole lot out of Whistler in this game. And that Red Sox offense, there's certain guys whose power numbers are down. I love JD Martinez, but I think he's only got 10 home runs. They're going to bump back up. That offense is too talented, and they're playing really well. And you win 2 out of 3 against your biggest rival. I think all 3 of those games are like national TV games, as is often the case against the Yankees. I think they're feeling pretty good. It's pretty good vibes going their way. I would lean Red Sox here, but obviously it is tough when you have a pitcher who's so early in his career and there's no data to go off of. But I'm with you. I mean, he was a guy that the Red Sox really, felt highly about coming into his major league career. So that's kind of how I feel right now. Yeah.
Kelly, what do you think?
Yeah, I should have commented on the other one, Megan. As far as the Tigers go, I also played the Tigers, but I played them first 5. I don't trust either one of those teams, but it is already off the board of the Barstool Sportsbook. So sorry I did not interrupt and chime in. As far as this game goes, man, I've spent a lot of time in the Tampa area over the last 6 months. My parents are down here, and I have been to one Rays game. And who was it against? This Boston Red Sox team. It was last year during the playoffs. The problem is I'd love to back the Rays, but nobody goes to the games. Just nobody. It's sad. If the playoff game, sure. But Monday, I don't even know what day it is. Monday during the week, I just don't see them having much home field advantage here, unfortunately. But I'm with you. If you're looking at the situational play here, Boston coming off that crazy series, big game last night. I honestly give a slight nod to Tampa Bay here, Megan, but I don't know if I trust this team either.
No.
And you mentioned Whistler. He's nothing really great to write home about. But if you're going to make me pick, I'll side with the Rays here, just in a little hat tip, but I'm not getting to the window with them. I did play actually 4 games today, which is shocking after I beat the crap out of how bad this slate was. I can't believe I'm looking right now. I'm like, why did I play these games? I just bashed how bad the slate was, and now I got 4 plays.
Yeah, it was a tough one for me. So slight nod, Chris gives to the Red Sox. Kelly's giving a slight nod to the Rays. I am putting my money on the Red Sox, and I don't think that that's completely accurate, Sean Richards, but it's okay. Regardless, I still think that this Red Sox team can get it done. They can carry over their grown men who know how to travel. So I'm going to go ahead and put my money there, and I already have. So another game on the slate today is White Sox Guardians. I don't have anything except for a TA7 hit in this game, which, as I already said, he is rolling with 11 at bats against Quantrill, 4 hits, and 318 on the year. So I just love Tim Anderson, and I think he's always a solid pick to put in a parlay to get a hit or to get on base or to score, or even an RBI, which is usually plus money. But that's really all I have for that game. Do either one of y'all have a play? Because I know, Kelly, you said you have 4 today, so I don't know what all they are.
I do also love Tim Anderson, but this is not going to be we'll get to it here in a minute. And it's kind of like I even sent the shocking face emoji in the group chat because I did not want to lay minus 150 with both the teams that I played. So I just put them in a 2-teamer.
Well, that's been my problem is because I think that, these, like, I'll put 2, minus 150, minus whatever. And I'm like, okay, this is going to hit. I've been getting killed on just money line parlays.
I agree. And that's why I normally don't do it, Megan. Remember I talked about a couple of weeks ago, the baseball system, it's been cruising right along. They've been doing really well. And that's the only reason why I did it. I had a former proxy customer of ours text me the other day and ask, Cal, how do you bet baseball? I said, I'm looking for the dogs to win outright, just like in any other sport. But yes, sometimes it does make sense. Now, you don't always want to lay the 1.5, though I have talked about several times now that when you do, and it goes the extra innings, it's in your favor. When you're holding that plus 1.5 in extra innings with that extra base runner, it's not conducive. So my actual advice would be, let's say that you personally did like 2 teams, each under minus 200 would be still to play them straight. I'm a giant pussy. We've talked about that before. I just can't do it. But when you start laying like $3 dogs and stuff like that, which we start to see in baseball, it is just, it's gut wrenching to me. Because now you've got to win 3 games to make up for your 1 unit.
Yeah, and it's gut-wrenching, especially whenever you put 2 $3 favorites in a parlay, moneyline parlay, and then they both fucking lose. That's what happened to me last week on my.
And it happens every day in baseball. It does. I mean, if you just look, I'm not going to say every day, but I would say it happens 5 out of 7 days a week.
It's been happening a lot recently, I can tell you.
And it's going to keep happening, especially as we get through these dog days of summer before it starts mattering. Is mattering a word? Anyway, before it starts to matter for some of these teams that are priced so accordingly, right? They're just trying to get through the dog days of summer as well, Megan. Like, I know not anybody is completely locked up any spots yet, but it's tough. 100. What did we decide? 157 games they're playing this year.
Chris, what is the number?
No, we're doing the full slate. Yeah, they ended up. Yeah, they added some double headers in the middle of the season. So
okay, I must have missed that. So listen, Megan, we have to do 162 shows a year. Probably not even. So imagine if we did. Some days you're going to be on your A game, and other days you're going to be like, you know what, Megan? Yeah, it's time for a high noon at noon.
Yeah, a high noon at noon, which is. It's past noon. It's 1:15. Well, I'm a little late. It's okay. I'll drink one for you, Kelly. Up next, we have the Phillies and the Cardinals, and I decided to break my own rule, which was betting against the Cardinals. Because why? Because this week hasn't been that great for me. So if it's not working, might as well switch it up a little bit. I think the Phillies are just a better overall team right now. I think Aaron Nola is a better overall pitcher right now. Mikolas is able and has been getting kind of lit up. I just think that Aaron Nola is just in his best form of the season thus far. I'm just trying not to overthink this one. As I said, I hated the slate today. It took me like an hour just to try to get that parlay together. So again, not going to overthink it here. I like the Phillies, and I like their opportunity to get the bats going and for Nola to limit the Cardinals offense. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I'm with you. And I was big on the Cardinals coming into the year, and I've been rooting for them just for the storylines. I've talked about that before, and Paul Goldschmidt probably right now is the NL MVP, but the last week they're not scoring runs. They scored 4 yesterday. Prior to that, they went a week without scoring 3 or more, and they got shut out, I believe, 4 times in a 7-game stretch. So, I mean, they're really scuffling on the offensive end, and you have a Phillies team that we discussed it like a month ago, like firing Girardi just turned their season around. I mean, they're well above 500. They're going to really compete for a playoff spot. And you have Aaron Nola, who has been inconsistent since that really great season that he had in 2018, but great numbers against this Cardinals lineup. They're only 24 hits and 102 at bats. That's a 647 OPS against him. So I'm on the Phillies money line here, because when we're talking about teams and individuals that have been struggling for an extended period of time, I'm not going to bet on them until I know they've broken out of the slump. Like the previous game you just mentioned with the White Sox Cardinals or White Sox Guardians, like Lance Lynn, I know is a really good pitcher, but he doesn't look good right now. I'm not going to put money on him until I know that he can break out of that slump. So that's kind of how I'm feeling with the Cardinals right now. I think they're a way better team than how they've played, but I don't feel comfortable putting any money on them until I know that they're going to break out of this.
All right, Kelly, please tell me that some money is going towards the Phillies, or that you have a group that is playing them as well, because I would really like another handshake or a hand, like a
walk. Phillies seems kind of cheap here, because Chris nailed it. The Cardinals just need to get their bats going.
Yeah.
And until they do, and I could be the mush that gets them going today. I mean, that's what happened with Chris. I told him, I go, no, listen, I think they're going to, and the Tigers all of a sudden, just start their bats get hot. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's going to be some regression to the mean, but until that free fall stops, I can't back the Cardinals either. And listen, Phillies have been playing great defense. They've only allowed more than 4 runs in just a last couple of games. So unless the Cardinals can score 4 or more, I mean, that's just pretty much basic math there. Just saying against the trend. I'm not meaning to buck your trend or to step in front of a freight train, but I'm with Chris. I can't back the Cardinals right now, so Philly seems like the easy answer here.
That makes me happy. Really quick, Billy Green, since you've are in the chat quite a bit, I'll go ahead and answer you. This is a Canes hat, but it was from whenever Coach O was a coach. It says "Go O," like in all of our French EAUX. So unfortunately, it's not available for you anymore. I have it. I will not sell it. Sorry.
How much to sell it? How much money?
I don't know. I really like this hat. You can have.
It's really funny when people are like attached to things, because like I always like to ask numerical values. Like, are you really that? Does it really matter? Like,
yeah, a little bit. It's just like this reminds me of 2019 and
$1,500. Would you sell it for $1,500?
Maybe
2,000.
Depends on how today goes. Let me finish and let me see if I'm.
Depends on how today goes. I love you so much. Spoken like a true gambler.
There was someone in the comments that says that we're not betting real money on these games. It's like, bro, do you not understand how fucking I wish I was not. I wish I was out here lying to y'all, but unfortunately I'm not. I'm putting my money on games that I put out and more than that. So just please, just be nice. Everyone be nice and it's free to be nice. What does Kelly's shirt? What does Casey have on hers? Be a good
Be
person.
kind.
Like
Be a
whatever.
nice human.
Yeah, be a nice human. Do that one. All right, up next we have Mets Braves. This one's part of my parlay as well. As I said, I moved the stool because the total is at 7, but I moved it to 8.5. You have Max Fried, who's an absolute fucking dog on the mound. And then you have Max Scherzer, who we know in the past he's just come off the IL, but he had a great first start when he came out. I really think that these two guys hold it down. It's going to be a dogfight on the mound. If anything, I think the Braves bats get to the Mets first. I'm not taking a side here, though. I can see this game easily being like a 3-0, 3-1 type of game. And I think that ends in the Braves' favor. But again, we heard Frank before the show started. The Mets are going to lose today and get swept by the Cubs and everything else. So if there's anything happening there, Frank was right. But I'm just going to take the under and hope that the Braves don't get to Scherzer. Hopefully he goes out there and throws a gem, as does Fried. What do you think about that, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited for this game. I'm super excited for
this
series.
Too.
I love Max Fried. I think, well, he did just make an all-star team, his first all-star team. So I think he's probably reached beyond the point of being considered underrated. But I love watching him pitch. Crafty left-hander, great numbers at Truist Park, 25-9 with a 2.95 ERA. But you're facing Max Scherzer. And Max, in big games, he's going to be Max. He's going to be frothing at the mouth, looking like a crazy person with the different colored eyes. He's going to be throwing fastballs at 96. Like, Max Scherzer, like, I think it doesn't matter what park he's pitching in. Like, he could be pitching in a rec league, and he's going to be throwing 97. Like, he's just a competitive guy. I considered before I saw your parlay going with the under at 7, but that's so tough. Like, if one of these guys is just average, you blow up that,
right. It's nerve-wracking taking it at 8.5. But
exactly. Yeah. So I'm jumping on that parlay at 8.5, looking at the numbers because the Max is pretty good against the Braves. If you're looking for a home run prop, Ronald Acuna, 7 for 20 with 2 home runs. That's an OPS of near 1,200 against Max Scherzer. So just something to throw out there. But no, I mean, I have no play other than to say I think that the game itself is going to be awesome. I'm
excited too. What do you think, Hel?
Yeah, I did play the Mets first 5 here, Megan, and that's just because I think Atlanta is just a little overpriced.
That's fair.
And that's just because they've been playing their asses off. They've been great since like middle of May, and not a lot of people want to fade it. So I stepped in front of the first 5 train, if you will. I do think it could easily be, like you said, a 3-1 final. And maybe the Mets can get their bats going just a little bit earlier than the Braves. But it was purely a pricing play as far as I'm concerned. Really quickly, though, Brandon, and that's why I was on my phone. Brandon in the comments was asking for any summer league action. I bet this number's long gone, but I got this text about 3 hours ago. I'm in a group called Sharp Shit, and you guys can't see it. It's got one of those knives here. And so whenever certain people play certain things, I have a group of friends that have access to finding out. So they have the Jazz. I don't even know who the Jazz are playing. He just said Jazz under 173.5 today in Summer League. So if you're looking for some Summer League action, I can report that. Don't get mad at me if it loses. I've been playing their stuff. It's been kind of a little roller coaster ride. But if you're looking for some action, take the under.
Speaking of roller coaster ride, Kelly, I'm pretty sure you said that you had this next game, which is the A's and the Rangers. I mean, I need you to explain what you took in this game because I could not get behind taking a minus 180 money line with Spencer Howard. I just don't see it, but I also am not going to get behind the A's who just randomly win games whenever they feel like it. So I need to know how you played this, Kel.
I played the Rangers in a parlay with another team we'll get to here in a minute. Now, full disclosure, this is a martingale type system that these guys have been sharing with me for the last few years. Shout out to my buddy Matt. It's been great. It's been profitable, but you got to lay some big money lines. And sometimes I just don't have the stomach for it. And today I just didn't. I didn't have a great weekend. I didn't have a bad weekend, but I didn't have a great weekend. I was just like, you know what? I'll just throw these 2 plays for today. And basically how the system works is if a team gets swept in the first series of the season, in the second series, you play on that team. So we bet the Rangers today. The Rangers lose, we double up tomorrow. And can get really, really spicy in game 3 sometimes. Sometimes I'm like having actual meltdowns. So let's hope it doesn't even get to that. And the Rangers win game 1 of the series and we don't have a problem. But full disclosure, I'm with you. I looked at this game. I actually need to make a habit of not looking at it like I just either need to play the system or not. Because when I start to look at it, I'm like, oh God, like, no, I don't want to back the A's. We talked about that. They're a dumpster fire. But then every once in a while, here they are, they come out and they pull a game out of their ass and just bust up everybody's parlays. So
yeah, that's what I wanted to, like, when you texted this one, I was like, damn, really? The Rangers? I mean, I get it. The A's suck, but like,
yeah, it's not going to be fun.
Spencer Howard. What do you think about this game, Chris?
Yeah, I know very little. The A's offense, the Tigers have finally, I think, caught up to the A's in terms of worst offense in baseball. Again, baby steps. But look, they're not good at all. I know so little about Spencer Howard. When you look at these numbers, 0-1 with a 10.97 ERA. The thing is, I base most of my bets on data and looking like none of these guys have faced anyone else in the lineup outside of maybe 4 or 5 at bats. So not a whole lot to go off of here. I think the Rangers are a better team. So I would
agree. They should win, just like the Marlins are.
So in that aspect, I would probably lean towards them if I had to, but I stayed away from this for sure.
All right. Give us a quick breakdown of game 2 of your Tigers before we move on to our final game of the day.
Yeah, well, like I said earlier, the Tigers have had their struggles against the Royals this year. One thing about the Tigers that I do need to know is that the bullpen has been, and this is so bizarre, the bullpen has been amazing this year. It's the 3rd best bullpen in baseball behind the Astros and the Yankees, which is one of these things is not like the other, clearly, that you have 2 teams that are going to win 105 games and then the Tigers. But the one issue that I think they may run into is I believe, are playing, I might be off by a few here, I think 19 straight games to end the first half of the season, meaning that they're not going to get a whole lot of days off. Right. So this bullpen needs to line up well. And yesterday they used, they're playing a doubleheader today, and yesterday they used Lang out of LSU, who's a stud. He probably should have been an all-star, but that's beside the point. Michael Fulmer, Gregory Soto. I think that in a game like this, you need depth out of your starter. You need length out of your starter. And the Tigers are starting Alex Faedo, who pitched some pretty good baseball early on in the season, but has really hit a wall over his last 4 starts, 10.20 ERA, which is pitiful. Again, I won't play it. I never do with the Tigers. So there's not a whole lot to go off of here. Just the one thing I would pay attention to is that I think the deeper this goes, because we got about a week left before the All-Star break, I do think this could be a pitching staff that wears down a little bit. And despite how often I've said, hey, bet the under with the Tigers because they don't score a lot of runs, I do think that this bullpen has been so taxed that the All-Star break kind of can't come soon enough, and they do struggle against some of these Royals hitters.
Kelly, did you play this one? Or you just played game 1?
I just played game 1, and that's full disclosure. This is not – do you really want to get involved with either one of these teams, let alone twice in one day?
Right.
Not me. I already have to suffer through this first one. I just refreshed the score. Still 0-0. Yeah. Looks like top of the second.
I think we're all secretly watching it. Is that so? That's so funny that I guarantee we're
secret. Do you think I do anything in secret? You can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm checking my phone.
I has it on. I also have.
I got the TV over here.
I have the TV on, and it's.
I used to have a 3-monitor system back in the day, and then I realized I needed to change it for filming purposes. But it used to be way more obvious because I'd catch myself staring off camera, just staring. But now I just have different browsers on the Mac. You can just click it, and it'll open up, and so I can just kind of casually glance in the right-hand corner without making it too obvious.
It's if you see me lean back ever, that's what I'm like. Oh.
Yeah, you're so anyway.
Good stretch. All right, so last one of the day that we're going to get into, unless either one of y'all have a play on the Diamondbacks and the Giants, I don't think. Okay, I don't either. So Padres, Rocky. Obviously, I told y'all to end out my parlay. I need Osmer to go ahead and get that hit for me. But Kelly, is this what you parlayed with the Rangers?
It is. And shout out to the Rockies yesterday. My buddy Chris texted me that he does these weird, I don't quite get it. Men are weird. They like to talk about poop a lot. And it starts with them as little kids, little boys like to do it too. My friend Crystal's at what point do they outgrow this? And I'm I don't think they ever do. So anyway, the fade you guys, my buddy Chris started the poop play of the day, like whichever one smells the worst. And I guess yesterday I wasn't really following along, but I got the text that it was the under in the Rockies game. And I'll take it. I didn't even have to watch. I was finishing helping my dad move. So that was really nice. But I kind of do lean that way again today. But I don't like having multiple plays on games, right? Then you have too many things to root for. It's hard to win both. So I did take the Padres, and that was because they got swept by the Rockies about a month and a half ago. And so it's game one. Here we are. It's nauseating, and I can't believe I laid that much chalk with a team on the road.
The Padres have killed me lately. Like literally.
Same here. They've killed me. I like them, but they've killed me all year. Every time I bet them, they screw me over.
So, Chris, this is what I want you to do. I want you to not bet them today, please. I just need them to win game one of the series.
I'm not touching them, Kelly. All I need is an Osmer hit, and if that hopefully that it goes along with your Padres money line, it does. So it aligns. So
isn't the over-under for this like 11.5 or something crazy?
Probably. If it's
in Colorado.
It's always high though in Colorado.
It's always over 10.5 in Colorado.
And Megan and I talked about that before we brought you on the show when we first started doing baseball season. And she's like, "Was it last year, Megan? You were just crushing."
I was crushing Coors Field. Yeah, for the first 2 years on Twitter, like I was just fucking crushing Coors first 5 unders, crushing, and then all of a sudden this year and a little bit of last year too, it's like all of a sudden juice balls came back into play or something. And it's like, or either that or pitchers just, I don't know, just aren't pitching. I'm not sure. Pitchers aren't pitching, whatever.
That is one thing, and just as a baseball geek to look out for. I think they're going back to juicing the balls again, or at least mixing them.
I've heard that.
A lot of people have been talking about that. So that would not surprise me if like the deeper we go into this season, more overs hit, because I think that's going to end up being a thing, which is so stupid, but that's
I agree 100%, especially whenever people like us are doing hard work trying to look at like stats and things of that nature, and then it's like, well, it doesn't really matter because this guy who has a slugging percentage of whatever is going to go and just fucking crank one over the fence for a 3-run home run. Not a big deal. It is because I have the under. It sucks, but it's okay.
It is because I have the under.
It's okay. It's okay. Everything's going to be okay. We're literally like a month out from our first college football game, and then like a month and a week out from is that really? Is that?
Yeah, we're almost 2 months out.
A little bit more than that. A little bit more.
Yeah, we're probably 6 weeks. I don't have my calendar open. Maybe that's one of the browsers I should have open, my calendar. But August 27th, Megan, is the first college football game. Obviously, we're going to get some preseason NFL, which I will have good information to share with you guys. A couple of the guys over at Wager Talk have done preseason guides for years. And Harbaugh is the preseason god. So get ready to bet the Ravens every single preseason game.
Absolutely. I want to talk to this person in the comment, Da. I don't know. I'm
going to go and guess those are his initials, DA.
Maybe. But just to let everyone know, and you can go look at this on the Pick Central Tracker. This year I have played, my record is 415 and 412 and 8. And I am down just 0.11 units. So if you're wondering if I'm making money by putting out three picks a day,
that's insane. That's entirely okay. So there's your whole problem. That's entirely too many games, Megan. You've been at Barstool for 1 year and you've played almost 1,000 games.
1 whole year. That's today. Well, 2 days ago.
Was it 2 days ago? I missed it. Sorry. Happy anniversary.
Was that when you started or got hired?
Well, that's the first day that I showed up. I announced myself like 4 or 5 days ago. But then
I remember I was in Boston with Ariel, and we were so happy for you.
The Joey Gallo fucked me day was
he did.
You know what's ironic? Did I say this on the last show? Maybe I did. But like that moment ended Joey Gallo. Like as a player, he sucked.
He hasn't been good since.
No, the Yankees are going to trade him just to get rid of him. Like
bye. We don't feel bad for him.
I don't.
He tried to ruin Megan making money day one. Like, right. Sorry.
No, see, this is why I don't respond to people in the comments. Just go look. If I've played well over 800 games this year, okay? 800 different games on different college basketball and baseball and NBA. Those are really what I bet. Maybe 2 college baseball games, whatever. So just, did I see belated anniversary? That's in April. Thank you. Kelly.
Barstool anniversary, you nerd.
Thank you. I was like, what? Isn't it your anniversary today, though?
Tomorrow, actually. There's actually a debate, actually, what day it is, and it's a really funny argument every single year. And I won this year, so it's tomorrow.
Well, I get happy anniversary early then. I was definitely expecting you to say that it's today, but it's okay. So happy.
So the flowers arrived 2 days ago, but I wasn't here. So I ended up getting stuck helping my dad for a couple more days, but it was worth it. We didn't kill each other.
It was
memories.
Yeah, quality time with your dad is definitely important. Take it from me. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming in today. Chris, don't forget, we're still cranking out those charities, right? After every time.
Yeah, no, I still got I got a pretty solid backlog, but let me check. Tonight's will be, I believe it's a cancer foundation called Love Team Tessa, I believe is the name of it. Yeah, I'll do some. I got 2 tonight, so yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I love your doubleheader days. That's great. Great for the charities. Great for you. Great for Barstool. We'll see you guys back here on Wednesday. Talk a little bit more MLB. We're gonna grind our way through. Thank you so much, as always, Chris, for coming on, being our special guest, and helping us break down every day of MLB. But yeah, we're getting back to football soon, guys. Football soon. See you guys Wednesday.